Good morning and a good Sunday to everyone, dear Dhamma listeners. This is our first Abhidhamma class in English where we are dwelling into the higher teachings of the Buddha, and this is our first cycle in the advanced themes in Abhidhamma. So our esteemed teacher, Venerable Buluwala Rattanasiri Thero, the chief abbot of the Dharma Vijarama temple in Millava, Kurunagala, will be delivering the Abhidhamma classes as usual, and these sessions are hosted by Sangakaya Foundation. So it is time now to start our first Abhidhamma lesson. Over to you, Reverend Sir.
Good morning. Let's start our Abhidhamma lesson today. Before we start the lesson today, I would like to recall our past, what we have studied Abhidhamma throughout more than 20 lessons that I have done with you. You know how this Buddhism have been preserving for 2,500 years, more than that. You know, the whole Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism, has been included in three canons. It is called Tripitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. All the Abhidhamma facts have been included in this Abhidhamma. All the facts of Abhidhamma have been included in Abhidhamma Pitaka. You know, our Buddha had been delivering Dhamma for about 45 years all over India. After his Parinibbana, his disciples decided to preserve his Dhamma. They wanted to preserve the Buddha's Dhamma. So they decided to hold the Buddhist council to gather and preserve the Buddha's Dhamma. So they held first Theravada Buddhist council in Rajagaha. After the Parinibbana, after 3 months of the Parinibbana of Buddha, 500 Arahants gathered in the cave called Saptaparni, called Saptaparni cave of Vebar rock, situated in Rajagaha. King Ajasat gave all the facilities and security to hold this First Buddhist Council. So, Venerable Mahakassapa, Venerable Ananda, and other Arahant, they gathered in that cave, Saptaparni cave, and they recited the Dhamma. They recited Dhamma and they confirmed Dhamma and they synthesized all Dhamma, scattered Dhamma in under Dhamma and Vinaya. Dhamma is doctrine, Vinaya is discipline. So in the first council, 5 Arahant recited Dhamma and they synthesized and they preserved Dhamma under Vinaya and Dhamma, doctrine and discipline. What did they do to preserve Dhamma? They elected Bhanakas. Bhanakas means they had to by heart Dhamma. They had to keep all Dhamma preached by the Buddha in their memory, and they had to recite the Dhamma to their pupils. Then teacher to pupil. Teacher recite Dhamma to pupil. Then pupil studied and take in his memories. And then he becomes teacher and he teaches, recite Dhamma to his pupil in that way. In the first Buddhist council, to preserve Dhamma and Vinaya, they elected Bhanakas. So Bhanakas, they preserved Dhamma and Vinaya. Venerable Ananda, he dominated great work there in Sutta Pitaka. He says, Evang me sutam ekam samayam bhagava. Savatyam viharati jetavan. In that way, as he had been heard the Buddha's Dhamma, he recited all the suttas in the presence of 500 Arahant. That was the first Dhamma Council. Then, after 100 years of the Parinirvana of the Buddha, there the Arahant like Yasa, Sabbakami, Revata, they decided to hold the Dhamma Council. It is called the Second Dhamma Council. They held that Second Dhamma Council in Vesali, in Viveka Rama. 700 Arahant participated in that council. They recited the Buddha's Dhamma and Vinaya, which was descending from the first council, Dhamma and Vinaya. But there happened a group of bhikkhus called Vajraputtaka. They presented 10 points and they wanted to confirm them to continue. But Sabbakami, Revata, Yasa, those Arahant, they did not agree with them. So the Vajraputtaka bhikkhus, uh, they get away from the Theravada traditions and they held another Buddhist council. Now, it is the first schisms in Buddhism, descendants in Buddhism, Buddha Sasana. Then what happened? Those bhikkhus, they held another council, and after that, there arise different schools in Buddhism, Mahayana. And in Abhidhamma literature also, Sarvastravadi, Sautantrika, Samya, in that way, there are so many Abhidhamma schools arise. There were acharyas like Nagarjuna, Vasubandhu, Asanka. They studied scientifically the Abhidhamma derived from Theravada Buddhism. So they formed new Abhidhamma schools. So there appeared the Abhidhamma, the vast Abhidhamma literature there. Sarvastravadi, Sautantrika, Samya, so many schools there appeared because after the second Buddhist council. But the Arahant like Sabbakami, Revata, Yasa, they decided to preserve Dhamma and Vinaya, which were recited in the first council. So they established the Bhanaka tradition and continued Theravada Buddhism. Then after 216 years or so, during the reign of King Emperor, Arahant Moggali Puttatis and thousands of Arahant, they decided to hold the third Theravada Buddhist Council. Emperor Asoka provide all facilities and securities and other provisions. Moggali Puttatis presided the third Dhamma Council. Then they wanted to purify the Buddha Sasana, Buddhist dispensation, because at that time so many bhikkhus who bore dogmatic views, they bore facts of other religions. So there were so many bhikkhus that they were not the real bhikkhus. They had entered the Buddha Sasana and they were spoiling it. So Emperor Asoka wanted to chase away those rival bhikkhus from the Sasana and purify the Buddha Sasana. So he discussed with Arahant Moggaliputta Tissa and other Arahant, and they held the third Buddhist council in Asokarami in Pataliputta city. Then this third Buddhist council is very important because first we hear about Abhidhamma. Now you know, in the first council, we did not hear about Abhidhamma. We only hear about Dhamma and Vinaya, discipline and doctrine, not Abhidhamma. In the second council also, we can't hear any evidence they recited Abhidhamma. But when we come to the third council, we hear about the restrictions of Abhidhamma in this third council. That is, Arahant Moggaliputta Tissa recited the Kathavattupakarana and added it to the Abhidhamma Pitaka. So after that, there were 7 textbooks in Abhidhamma Pitaka. So up to the third Buddhist council, we can't hear about Abhidhamma, no evidence about Abhidhamma or Bhanaka tradition or anything, we can't hear. That's the problem. Anyway, I will explain you later. After the third Buddhist council, they decided to deliver Dhamma to the other countries. That is very important. They sent missions to Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, China, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and to Sri Lanka. 9 countries. Arahant Mahinda and his mission came to Sri Lanka to deliver Dhamma. They brought Tipitaka in their memory, not in written scriptures. They brought, there were other Arahant group, Itya, Uttiya, Sambala, Paddasala, Sumana Samanira, and Banduka Upasaka. They came to Sri Lanka. They brought Tipitaka, Vinaya, Sutta, Abhidhamma. Not, I can't say Tipitaka, Dhamma Vinaya. They brought Dhamma Vinaya to Sri Lanka with commentaries. With commentaries, they kept in their memories. So they brought those Dhamma and Vinaya and also the commentaries to Sri Lanka. At that time, King Devanampiya Tissa was the king. He made necessary arrangements, you know, and he gave his patronage and he built Mahamevna, temples and everything, and he gave facilities to propagate Dhamma. Arahant Mahinda established a Buddhist Sasana in Sri Lanka, Theravada Buddhist Sasana in Sri Lanka. Prince Aritta, he was ordained as a Buddhist monk with his companions, and there began the Sri Lankan Bhikkhu traditions. So they learned Buddhism, Dhamma and Vinaya, and also the commentaries from Arahat Mahinda. And they continued Dhamma, they preserved Dhamma and Vinaya through the Bhanaka traditions. There were no written scriptures. After about 400 or 500 years, during the king of Valagampa in Sri Lanka, there was a famine. There were no enough food to eat. Drought was there, no water to drink. So many problems arise. So the Arahant, many Arahant left the country. Many Arahant who knew Dhamma Vinaya in their memory, they died. So the Mahatheras, the Arahant, they decided, if we want to preserve this Dhamma, we have to write in inscriptions. So they gathered Aluvihara, in Matali, in Sri Lanka. So they inscripted the Dhamma in all our lives. But they write this Dhamma Vinaya in Tipitaka, in 3 canons. So these 3 canons are known as Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. Now you can understand how Theravada Abhidhamma Pitaka has come to us. In Theravada Abhidhamma Pitaka, there are 7 textbooks. There are 7 textbooks. Dhamma Sangani, Vibhanga Sangani, Puggala Panyati, Dhatu Kata, Katavattupakarana, Yamaka Prakarana, and Patthana Prakarana. There are 7 textbooks. That is in Theravada Buddhism. I told you there are other Abhidhamma school also, like Sarvastavadi, Sautrantika, Samya, Sariputta, so many schools. Abhidhamma literature is there. Now here, these 7 textbook, it is for Theravada Abhidhamma. It is called Theravada Vibhajyavada Abhidhamma. So throughout these 20 lessons, more than 20 lessons, we have been studying Abhidhamma under this 7 textbook. Out of this 7 textbook, we took first the first textbook, Dhamma Sangani. Dhamma Sangani. So we, in our Abhidhamma lessons, we discuss about the 4 ultimate realities. These 4 ultimate realities and other Abhidhamma facts included in those 7 textbooks. So we discussed 4 ultimate realities referring Dhamma Sangani and Abhidhammatta Sangaha. I have told you there is a manual, Abhidhamma manual book written by Acharya Anuruddha, referring all these 7 texts, Abhidhamma texts. It is called Abhidhammatta Sangaha. So we discussed about throughout our lessons, previous lessons, referring Dhamma Sangani and Abhidhammatta Sangaha. Now, can you remember 4 ultimate realities? We'll try to understand what are those 5 ultimate realities, how they connect with our life and our environment and our world. What is the connection with them? We'll try to understand, because now we have a rough knowledge about 4 ultimate realities. What are the 4 ultimate realities? Chitta, Chaitasika, Rupa, Nibbana. Those are the 4 ultimate realities. In Dhamma Sangani, there are about these 3 ultimate realities: Chitta, Chaitasika, Rupa, Nibbana. When we take Dhamma Sangani, the first textbook, there are 3 ultimate realities described. Chitta, Chaitasika, Rupa. What is Chitta? Chitta is consciousness. Chitta. Chaitasika, mental factor. Rupa, matter. Now, we'll try to find out the relationship of these 3 ultimate realities with our life. Our life is the combination of 5 aggregates. Do you know 5 aggregates? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Those are the 5 aggregates. Those are the 5 aggregates. Then take Rupa. Rupa is matter. aggregate rupa. Aggregate rupa is the ultimate reality is matter. We studied about matter in Abhidhamma. So our ultimate reality matter is the matter in ultimate realities. The third ultimate reality matter, rupa. Vedana, sanya, sankara, vijnana. Other four aggregates. Vedana, feeling. Vedana. Sanya, perfection. Sankara, mental formation. Vijnana, consciousness. These four aggregates is Chitta, Chaitasika. Chitta, Chaitasika. So, throughout our lessons, we studied Abhidhamma, the four ultimate realities. In other sense, in other way around, we studied about our life, the five aggregates. Now take aggregate, five aggregates, and take four ultimate realities. Now, Chitta, consciousness. We studied about consciousness. How many consciousness in number? We studied 89 or 121 consciousness. Consciousness which dominate in universe. We divided these 89 consciousness, sense, sphere, fine material sphere, and immaterial sphere, and supra-mandate. Can you remember me? 89 or 121 consciousness. Now take sense sphere consciousness. How many sense sphere consciousness? There are 54 sense sphere consciousness. Where do they dominate? Where do they live? Those sense sphere consciousness, they dominate in heavens, in the human world, and in four hells. There are 6 heavens. In heavens, gods live. So gods have such consciousness. Fine sphere consciousness. Human also has such consciousness. And person who are in hell, they are also those consciousness. So these consciousness dominate in heavens, in the human world, and also in hells. So what we did, we analyzed the mind, and we studied the functions of the mind in Abhidhamma. Then fine material sphere consciousness. How many fine material sphere consciousness? There are 15 fine material sphere consciousness. Where do they dominate? They dominate in Brahmalok. Brahmas, they bear those consciousness. 15 consciousness. Vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. Vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. In that way, there are 15 fine material consciousness, wholesome, resultant, and functional. Then there are 12 immaterial sphere consciousness. Where do they dominate? Where are they? Those consciousness are there in the immaterial Brahman. Those are the grounds that consciousness travels or dominates. In Abhidhamma, what did we do studying Abhidhamma? We studied the nature of the consciousness, the mind. You know, by studying consciousness, mind, then the second ultimate reality is mental factor. Mental factors are also, there are 52 mental factors. Mental factors are also with consciousness always. They dominate in those worlds with consciousness. In human world, in the heavens, in Brahmaloka, life. Then I told you, I explained you, there are other 8 consciousness called supramundane consciousness. There are 8 supramundane consciousness, Magga and Phala. There is no brown. There is no such consciousness do not have grounds or world. These 8 consciousness, these 8 supramundane consciousness creates in the mind of the arahant or the noble person that who follows the middle pathway and enter Soan, Sakurdagami, Anagami, Arihat, step by step. So those 8 supramundane consciousness they have. So this is the function of the nature of the mind. So in Abhidhamma, we study the function of our mind, nature of our mind, not only our mind, but also the other beings' mind also, Brahmas and Devas and other beings. So we studied we studied our mind scientifically. We did scientific study. We investigated, we analyzed the function of the mind. You know, Karma, Buddha's teaching, Karma, the doctrine of Karma, Buddha's teaching. Chetanahang bhikkhave kammang vadami, chetitva kammang karoti, kayena vācāya manasa. Buddha gave definition to karma in Nibbediya Sutta. Consciousness is itself the karma. So in Abhidhamma, studying the functions of consciousness, we studied about what? We studied about karma and vipaka. How karma becomes and how the results come in that way. Now there are consciousness, karma, kusala, vipaka, kriya. Kusala karma and vipaka and kriya. In that way, consciousness have been analyzed. So, throughout our previous lessons, we studied our body, physical part of our body, and the mental part of our body. We analyzed, we investigated. When we come to the matter, ultimate reality matter, we studied there are 28 kind of matters. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Like that, there are 28 elements in our body. Our body has been formed with 28 elements. We analyzed them. We studied the functions of them. So, studying Abhidhamma, we analyze our physical body and we analyze our mental set and we studied them. That's what we did. So, Dhamma Sangani, in Dhamma Sangani, those facts have been included. Chitta, Chaitasika and Rupa. In Dhamma Sangani, three aggregates, three ultimate realities. Descriptions of three ultimate realities. Chitta, consciousness, Chaitasika, mental factor, and Rupa. Yet we did not study about Nibbana, the aggregate Nibbana. Just we mentioned, because in Dhamma Sangani, it has not been described in Dhamma Sangani. Nibbana has been described in other textbook. We'll study later. Now, let's consider about the facts that include in Dhamma Sangani. Dhamma Sangani, it consists of 4 segments. 4 segments are there, 4 parts are there. Titupadesa, Rupa Khanda, Nikkepa Atudhara. There are 4 sections there. In Chittupakanda, in Dhamma Sangani, in Chittupakanda, there are descriptions about the 2 ultimate realities about Chitta Chaitasika, that is consciousness and mental factor. Now we'll come to the Abhidhamma history. We'll try to discover Abhidhamma now. I told you, up to the 3rd council, there was no mention about Abhidhamma. So some scholars say that Abhidhamma is not the Buddha's work. It is the scholastic word. It is a scholastic study done by his disciples in the medieval age. Some scholars say that. But we'll try to understand how we think that Abhidhamma is the Buddha's word. We'll try to understand by referring to sources. The founder of Abhidhamma is Buddha. Now, you know, Dhammasangani has the commentary. What is the commentary for Dhammasangani? Attasalini, who translated Attasalini from Sinhala to Pali, Acharya Buddhaghosa, who came from India. He translated Sinhala commentaries into English with the permission of Mahatheras of Mahavihara. Acharya Buddhaghosa has translated Attasalini into Pali, but Attasalini, that is the commentary, it is descending from the time of Arahant Mahinda. Arahant Mahinda brought these commentaries with the Dhamma and Vinaya. He brought commentary also. So in Attasalini, there is lines Tatrako Bhagava Devi Tavatinsi Abhidhamma Katang Katesi Kusala Dhamma Akusala Dhamma Abhya Kata Dhamma. One day Buddha Abhidhamma Katang Katesi, Buddha preached Abhidhamma. Kusala, Akusala, Abhyakata. Now, it is the It is there in Dhammasangani. That is the first matrix, Matrika of Dhammasangani. So there, Attasalini says, Buddha preached Abhidhamma to God in thousands of heaven. Why the Buddha went there? What is the purpose of going to Tavatinsa? After 7 years of the Buddhahood, in the 7th Vassana season, Buddha went to Tavatinsa, Tavatisa, to meet his mother god. Who is mother god? Mother god, his mother, Mahamaya, Queen Mahamaya. Queen Mahamaya died after the 7 days of his birth and was born in Tautisa, called Matu Divyaraja, God. As a gratitude, Buddha went to Tautisa to preach Abhidhamma, to Abhidhamma. Thousands of gods include Matu Divyaraja, Mahamaya. They learned Abhidhamma. Every day, Buddha, during 3 months, in the Vassana season, Buddha preached Abhidhamma to God. And every day, he came to, he met Arahant Sariputta. He met Arahant Sariputta and he taught Abhidhamma, what he preached in the heaven. So, after 3 months, Buddha taught Abhidhamma to his disciple, his chief disciple, Sariputta. Then Sariputta taught his 500 pupils, and they are established the Abhidhamma Bhanaka tradition. So they descended that Abhidhamma. That is the evidence for Abhidhamma, that is the Buddha's word. Another evidence is there when Buddha spent 7 weeks just after attending to Buddhahood. In the 4th week, when he meditated, he memorized Abhidhamma. He memorized the facts that include in these 7 textbooks, Dhammasangani, Vibhanga-sangani, Puggala Panyati, Dhatu Kata, Katavattupakarana, Yamaka Prakarana, and Patthana. Last he memorized Patthana Prakarana. What happened? Rays spread and hollow was there around his body. So that is another evidence for Abhidhamma is the Buddha's word. So we believe that Abhidhamma is the Buddha's word. So in Theravada Buddhism, which is there in Sri Lanka now, in 7 textbook, Sapta Prakara. So we, during our last Abhidhamma lessons, we study the facts that include in Dhamma Sangami. Today onwards, our lessons will be on the second textbook, Vibhanga Prakarana. Vibhanga Prakarana. The second book. So, we'll study the facts that include in Vibhanga Prakarana. Vibhanga means investigation. Again, in Vibhanga Prakarana, we investigate our body and our environment. Not only our body, but also the other beings' body. Gods, Brahmas, and microorganisms, every being and their environment. Environment means the world, sphere, universe. So Vibhanga is investigation. There are 16 ways of investigation in Vibhanga Prakarana. So Vibhanga Prakarana, the book of analysis. There are 18 khandas, that is sections. That means those sections investigated separately the human body and the environments and the functions of it. And there are 3 explanations that is called Sutta explanation, Abhidhamma explanation, and catechism explanations. In Vibhanga Prakarana, we find the 3 explanations. Sutta explanation means the matters are analyzed or described as they are in the Sutta. For instance, in Ananta Lakkana Sutta, it is in Sutta Pitaka. In Sutta Pitaka, Ananta Lakkana Sutta has been described. So in Abhidhamma also, in Sutta explanation and the Sutta explanations, the subject matter is explained according to the Sutta. Now, for instance, if we call soul in Ananta Lakkana Sutta, it is about soul. So in Abhidhamma, soul is explained just like the soul in the Sutta. That is Sutta explanation. Now we take Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths they are in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta and Satyavibhanga Sutta and in several other suttas. So Abhidhamma, when Abhidhamma explains the Four Noble Truths, it explains as the Sutta has done. That is called Sutta explanation. On the other hand, this matter is very important because it is the evidence that the Abhidhamma has relationship with Sutta Pitaka, or Abhidhamma has been derived from Sutta Pitaka. When our Sri Lankan Arahant, when they write Vinaya Sutta Abhidhamma, they may have extracted Abhidhamma from Sutta Pitaka and they may have formed or they may have written a separate Pitaka called Abhidhamma. So there are three explanations, Sutta explanation, and another one is Abhidhamma explanation. For example, now take soul or Four Noble Truth. Four Noble Truth is analyzed or described as in Abhidhamma in deep sense, not like in Sutta. It is explained in other way around. That is Abhidhamma explanation. Another one, the Patiputta. Patiputta is criticism, interrogation. That is asking questions and giving answer. There is interrogative tone. Ask questions and give answers and explain. That is Patiputta currently. So that explanation, those three kinds of explanations, we can see in Vibhanga Prakarana. So by referring those three explanations, I will try my best to explain you the deep Dhamma matter. Referring those three explanations and commentary also. What is commentary for Vibhanga Prakarana? Sammoha Vinodana. Sammoha Vinodana. We can study. We can study Abhidhamma. So in Vibhanga Prakarana, the first khanda is five aggregates, khanda Vibhanga, aggregates. So aggregate has been explained in three ways. Sutta explanation, Abhidhamma explanation, and Patiputta explanation. First of all, try to understand what is aggregate, khanda. You have heard the word aggregate. Five aggregate: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Aggregate. Now, normally we say about aggregate limited to our body, our life, to the human life. But here, this aggregate not only for human beings. This aggregate counts a lot, a vast area. All the beings in the universe aggregate. So the aggregate, it covers a lot. It covers a lot. What are the aggregates? Five aggregates: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vinyan. When we take first the aggregate matter, Rupa, it counts a lot. This matter, Rupa, it is not only the human being, Rupa. Other being also. It counts the other being also. In Vibhanga Prakarana, in explanations, Sutta explanation, Abhidhamma explanation, and Patiputta explanations, Rupa means changing the subject matter that is to be changed. Rupatiti Rupam. It is changed due to weather condition. It is changed due to cool, cold, hot, and thirsty, and hunger. So that is the nature of matter. That is the nature of matter. And it is changed with the sting of mosquitoes, sting of serpents, stained with poison. That is Rupa. Now you can understand. Think of our body, matter, Rupa. You know, dengue, malaria, Bharava, so many diseases there from mosquitoes. So sting of mosquitoes, that matter is changed. So our matter, Rupa, is changed. So many changes are there due to sting. And if there is thirsty, there is change. If there is hunger, due to hunger, our matter, the body, physical body is changed. That is called, that is the nature of matter. Not only for the human beings, but also other beings also. So in Sammodha Vinodati, there is a story about Petas. The Petas body also to be changed due to thirsty. 30 bhikkhus, when they were around their Pindapatami, they met a Petas, the evil spirit, Peter, nearby a river. He was lying in the bank of the river. The water is flowing. Near the water, the Peter was lying there. Then those bhikkhus, there were 30 bhikkhus with ball. They asked, why you are lying here? Then Peter says, I want to drink water. the bhikkhu say, why this water is flowing here in the river? Why don't you drink water? Drink water as you want. I can't drink water, he said. That is how his body is changed due to thirsty. He has thirsty, but because of his body formation, he can't drink water. He can't drink water. So what did those bhikkhus say? They brought water in their bowls and they pour water into the Peta's mouth. Then asked, have you drunk enough water? What did the Peta say? No, I could only drink a handful of water. So that is the nature of body. Body is changed due to thirsty, hunger, and sting of serpents, poison, mosquitoes, and so on. That is the nature of body, matter, aggregate. I think the time is up now. We discuss in our next lessons those subject matters. Thank you very much for you to listen to me. The sin of the triple gems be showered upon you. Thank you very much.
Much merit to you, Reverend Sir, for a clear explanation on how the Abhidhamma came into being and its contents. And we will continue these sessions every Sunday morning now from 9 to 10:15 a.m. If you have any questions on on the teachings within the session or any other questions, you may write to us through the Google form to which you have access through the QR code that you see in the screen here, or you may ask questions on the YouTube channel where we are live streaming during the session. So until next Sunday, we wish all our listeners much merit and much knowledge too from learning Abhidhamma. So thank you very much once again and much merit to you, Reverend Sir. We will end today's first Abhidhamma class in our second cycle, dwelling deeper into the contents in the 7 books, and we are on the second book now. So I will end the meeting now, Reverend Sir. Reverend Sir, I will end the meeting now.